Okay, thanks to Deputy Nash for bringing forward this motion on inflation and the cost of living, and we're happy to support it, but I also move two small but we think important amendments on the issue of introducing energy price caps and also supporting workers who put in pay claims in order to keep their wages and income ahead of the now galloping rate of inflation and the rising cost of living. The inflation figures are bad enough if you just take them on their own terms. 5.7% in December, expected to be over 4%, about 4.5% next year. Now that means if you're only getting 1% pay increase, you're taking a pay cut. So workers are taking a pay cut. I'm on the Parliamentary Budget Committee, and they showed the state contributory pension with the nominal increases, but the actual real value of that saw the real value of the state pension dropping by 2%. Okay, so pensioners are taking an income cut. But that doesn't tell you the whole story. Because of course inflation figures are averages across all the cost of living all across the economy. But the areas where it's much, much worse are the ones that really hit the people who can least afford it, the vulnerable, the low-paid, working people. And that is in the area of housing, where it is an absolute disaster. And people are ending up homeless as a result of the failure of this government and successive governments to control the price of rent and house prices. And while, we haven't got time to go into the whole debate about housing now, it is absolutely outrageous that the government refused to introduce a rent freeze, and indeed we would go further and introduce rent controls where you actually control the amount of rent that can be charged, so that rents are linked to the incomes that are affordable for people. And that has to be done as a matter of urgency. When you consider that rents up 8% last year, 8% before, and by the way, and this is a critical point, the income of landlords during that same period went up by, guess what, 16%. And this is the key point about inflation and about the cost of living crisis. As the effects of prices going up, rents going up, childcare going up, energy prices going up, somebody is making money out of it. The landlords are creaming it. So your failure to control rents is in fact not just impoverishing people who need housing, but it is enriching the people who control the property sector. And this is a basic elementary truth about inflation. You see, for inflation to go up, the producers of goods and services have to increase prices in order to increase their profits. And profits in this economy have shot through the roof. So while ordinary workers are stuck on low pay, and by the way, it's laughable for the government to talk about high wage rates in this country. We have one of the highest levels of low pay anywhere in the Western world. 370,000 workers are on low pay, and that's across retail, private security workers, transport workers, health workers, manufacturing workers. Many of them are on absolutely abysmally low levels, poverty levels, the working poor, and are now being hammered by energy price hikes because of the profiteering of energy companies across the world and in this country. So we need to control prices, to control rents, and indeed support workers who are putting in pay claims to keep ahead of the galloping rate of inflation.